Hello, Aries, and welcome to your full moon reading. This is a reading for all Aries rising, sun, moon, or Venus placements in Aries. If you're not sure of your planetary placements, you can search for free natal chart on the internet and enter your information. It'll produce a birth chart for you that includes all that, including your rising sign, your ascendant. I've shuffled and cleared your cards and the space, and I'm going to do a quick shuffle cut here. I'm going to be pulling the tarot cards for your reading, but I've placed cards from the Star Codes Astro Oracle that relate to the structure of the reading. This reading is about the full moon, the strawberry moon. It's called that because the Algonquins, northeastern indigenous people, called it that because that's when the strawberries ripen. It's usually the first full moon of the summer or the last full moon of spring. So we'll be looking at that. And the full moon tonight and tomorrow, depending on where you live, is occurring in your ninth house of exploration. Your ninth house, this is Sagittarius, happens to be your ninth house, and that's where the full moon is happening. And this also rules your higher education, philosophy, wisdom, growth, and travel. The reading is going to be based from your sun sign. Now, let me explain the difference between your sun sign and your rising sign in relation to the reading. Your sun sign is your inner self. It's how you see you. So if someone were to ask you, tell me about yourself, it's how you would describe yourself. Now, your rising sign, if your rising sign is Sagittarius, then the way you relate to your environment and people in your environment is your rising sign. That's your outward identity. So sun sign is your inward identity, and your outward identity is your rising sign. Everyone's identity is very complex. We have different aspects. So for example, Aries, you have many different characteristics. You're all about action, and you're very determined. You have that fiery element giving you that passion and enthusiasm and that get up and go. You're a go-getter. You want to get it done. You're also courageous. You won't back down from a fight. You're good in conflict because you're assertive. You can sometimes be a little too aggressive, but you don't shy away from perceived conflicts. You're confident. You bring inspiration to anything that you approach. You're also an entrepreneur. You have an entrepreneurial spirit, very energetic. So those characteristics all describe you, but which side of Aries do we need for this full moon to do the work necessary to take advantage of all the intuition this full moon is giving you? So let's draw a card. I'm going to cut the deck here. Let's draw a card and see what aspect of yourself, your you, is going to help you the most with this full moon energy. And we have the Hermit. That's Virgo energy. Okay, so Aries, you are going to do something that goes against your natural grain, your natural traits, and you're going to be doing some retreating, you're going to isolate yourself. And as a matter of fact, let's go ahead and talk about that. The Hermit is not isolated because this energy has been rejected or it's lonely. It's isolated because it wants peace and quiet. It knows that listening to intuition, receiving intuitive messages from spirit, and getting that clarity from introspection must happen in the quiet. So although you are lively, you're not going to be able to be inspirational and confident and your usual passionate, optimistic self unless you retreat and listen to your intuition. I want to talk about, you're not usually the kind of person who approaches life by waiting for messages from spirit. You decide what needs to be done and you do it. But let's talk about this full moon. This is an exceptional full moon, very unique. It is perfectly aligned with an area in space that we call the Great Attractor. It's a huge force of gravity. It's a cluster of galaxies, a gravitational center of those galaxies that's millions of miles away. Its force is so strong, so powerful, that because our moon is perfectly aligned with it, this full moon is perfectly aligned with the Great Attractor. And because of that, it's going to heighten our intuition. The moon energy we receive during this full moon is going to make all of us more intuitive than usual. We're going to pick up messages from reflecting and introspecting more so than we usually do. Now, the full moon illuminates. It shines bright. It illuminates things that are hidden. The moon represents secrets and hidden issues. You can see that the caption here says perception. Well, the only way that you're going to be able to tap into your intuition is through this retreat. So you do have this in you, Aries, and you can do this. You're decisive. Once you make up your mind to do this, you will do it. There's no doubt about that. And you've got the courage to face the hidden. Whatever is revealed to you in messages from Spirit or through your introspection, you're going to get realizations during this full moon experience like, oh gosh, I didn't realize that was happening also. Or, oh, I hadn't looked at it that way. That makes me think differently. Or, I didn't know that he or she was involved in this in that way. Or, oh, I didn't realize that information was available to me. I didn't even know that. You're going to have all these, what you may call realizations, but they're flashes of intuition. They're twinges and glimmers of things that you will realize, that you will see, that are revealed to you because you are doing the work that the hermit does. Because you're being still, in the still and the quiet. That's when the intuition is going to come to you. Now, what's it going to be about? It's going to be about this 9th house of exploration, because this is happening in Sagittarius. This house represents growth and expansion. It's ruled by Jupiter. Generosity, travel, and as well as philosophy and higher education. So, given your natural inclinations, and given the fact that the sun is in Gemini, which is in your 3rd house of communication and your mindset, the way you approach things, the way you think about things, this tells me, it's also the ruler of short trips, but I'm thinking that this is emphasizing the expansion through travel. And there's different kinds of travel. Yes, there's physical travel, but there's mental travel through the media, through reading books, etc. But let's get some more information here about the hermit before we proceed to these 2 areas here. Okay, so the sun is in Gemini right now. It's shedding light on your 3rd house, of communication. And you see these little busy bees right here, and how the caption on the Gemini card is cross-pollinate. It's because you are very busy communicating in a way that is really expanding your abilities to communicate and relate to people. You're connecting with people in a way, Aries, that you may not have done before, and that's because the sun is here in that 3rd house of communication. It's right at home. Gemini is the natural 3rd house for Aries, as well as your ascendant 3rd house. So you've got a very busy mind right now. You have a lot of thoughts circulating round and round and round. And I have a feeling that they have to do with this 9th house, as we talked about growth and expansion. So some aspect of your life is growing and expanding, and you are experiencing that. And let's find out how that is going to be affecting you with this full moon. The 4 of Coins. The 4 of Coins, this is about your material resources, whether it's income, bank account, people, property, things, possessions, That's the coins. Four of coins is, fours are foundation. Coins is the earth energy, which I just described to you. But this is about your foundations. So it appears that this reflection that you're doing is related to your material resources in some way. And the growth and expansion, the communication is related to this also. Where was your full moon eclipse last month? It was full moon eclipse. Oh, it was in your 8th house of shared finances. The full moon eclipse last month forced a purging, a letting go, a release. It was also a time of very significant reflection and assessment, sort of assessing where are you right now, what needs to go, what's not working anymore, what needs to go, what needs to change, what do you need to bring in. And that was sort of an explosive situation. You had to face some things that maybe you didn't think you'd have to face, and you had to get rid of some old so that this growth and expansion we're talking about with this full moon could start taking place. And it's related to your material resources. Tell us more. Tell us more. Oh, 10 of Swords. Okay. I think you've been going through some difficulties. You've been going through some difficulties, and it's been painful. I don't know, Aries, sometimes you can be a little bit impulsive and impatient, and you might have made a decision before you had all of the information. And because of that, there were some mistakes made, and you've suffered the consequences. However, the 10s are the completion of a cycle. This tells me it happened in the recent past. It's the completion of a cycle. You're moving into the red back here in the background represents a dawn breaking. So you are going to be moving out of this energy. You've been all in your head about it. It's been causing a lot of stress, but you're moving out of this energy. In the original card, the figure is facing a golden dawn. They've been through the worst, and now the dawn is breaking. It is related to your security, how you define your security. And I'm not sure if you're going to be actually traveling physically, if that's related to your job, or if the travel is going to be more mental through media, books, etc. With communication. Let's get some clarity. No, let's get some clarity over here on this exploration. What is the full moon going to enlighten? What area of Aries' life is this full moon going to enlighten? How will exploration and expansion and growth be related to the intuitive messages that Spirit is sending? The 7 of Wands. Okay, wands are fire energy. You're a fire sign. Fire energy brings inspiration, extra energy, extra energetic, but also design and planning. Now the sevens are about stopping to reassess and reevaluate things. So when you are in hermit mode, when you are taking some time to yourself, day trips or some me time, or just going to an area of the house and announcing to everybody that you're going to take some time alone, you're going to have to set your boundaries and defend your boundaries, because people aren't used to you being that way, because you are so outgoing. You're such a leader. You're so adventurous and lively. People are not used to this. So you are going to be setting boundaries and taking a stand. And this is also related to your growth and expansion. The messages that you're getting during this full moon are to defend, take a stand and defend this new side of yourself that will be growing, that will be changing, expanding. Let me get some more information here about the new moon, how that's going to happen, the messages that you get. Oh, the Nine of Coins. Okay. She's nicknamed the single lady, successful single lady. This represents coins are your pentacles, your earth energy. So this tells me that yes, your intuition is going to be sharper than ever regarding your material resources and how to plan for them and use them. How to spread the wealth within your own domain and without. But the Nine of Coins says that your intuitive messages, when you get a gut feeling, when you play your hunches, that's going to lead to success. 9 is fulfillment. So this is whatever mistakes were made or whatever you've suffered in terms of a rash decision, perhaps, which Aries can be known for, or if you were too impatient, that will turn around. That will turn around with this. And you're going to be reestablishing yourself. It's going to involve communication. I'll get over here in a second. But you will achieve fulfillment with your level of security, your income, bank account, investments, property, etc. It also includes your work environment. And coins represent, the earth sign represents your work and your income as well. Okay, let's get more about this. The sun is in Gemini. Gemini being your third house, and whether your sun sign is Aries or your ascendant is Aries, Gemini is your third house of communication. So tell us more. How is that going to play into this full moon introspection that Aries must go through? Oh, the Empress. Wow. Okay, the Empress is our divine feminine. She's the archetypal mother. She represents abundance and water energy. So in fact, this is the only water you've got. This is your water energy. And this is your only two major arcana cards. These cards carry a weightier energy than these others, whereas these others will cycle out when this particular issue is resolved. These energies are going to stay with you for a while. So that tells me, Aries, that once you experience this retreat and introspection and this still and quiet that you are going to bring into your life and create a structure to support it and stand up for it and defend it. Once you do that and see the benefits of it and how well it works out for you, it's going to be an energy that stays with you. And in a general way, the Empress, with representing abundance and fertility, you're going to be communicating to those around you a different aspect of yourself. You're going to be communicating by standing up for this new version of yourself that thinks before they take that leap, that plans, that uses wand energy to plan. Yes, your fire energy wants you to plan a little bit more. This energy is going to stay with you for a while, but let's see what else we have. Let me cut. Get some clarification on the Empress, how that's related to your third house of communication, the mind and thinking, your mental outlook, your mindset, your social interactions, and it can also be siblings. Wow, the Magician. You've got the Empress and the Magician. Okay, major arcana right in here. The Magician is the master manifester. The Magician is a master of all the elements. He has at his disposal all the fire, all the water, air, and earth energy. And he knows how to use those tools. He reaches above and he reaches below with the other hand. And his slogan or motto, whatever you want to call it, is As above, so below. He takes spiritual energy, all the talents, all the skills that he is the master of, and he uses those tools to manifest the spiritual messages we get through our intuition. Okay. I wonder, Aries, if you have been, since the sun moved into Gemini about a week and a half ago, and will stay here, if you, with your fiery energy, have been more talk than you have action. If you've been more prone to be a talker rather than a doer, all talk and no action or little action, this is changing that. You're going to retreat a little bit. You're going to bring the good parts of the old Aries back and let Aries grow and expand. And this is going to be related to your job. Let's get one more clarification card here. Wow, I can't believe it. You got 3. You have 4 major arcana. The Fool. The Fool represents the beginning of a new journey. Now, you don't have any aces here. You don't have anything that shows the completion of a journey. But there's something new. Well, it's related to your growth, your expansion and growth. In that 12th, in the 9th house where the full moon is happening. Okay, so the full moon, the Spirit's telling us that this has to do with a new you emerging by some kind of growth. And that's not really going to be able to happen easily until you take this step of stopping, introspecting, and getting that still and quiet and listen to the intuitive messages, play your hunches, listen to your gut, so that you can expand in this realm of work. Where's the other coins? Right there. In this realm of material assets and income and investments. And in the way you communicate. The way you communicate that. The way you think about it. Communicate with yourself. The way what your mindset is toward this. And how you think about it to yourself, how you communicate it to others, how you represent it. Let me get one more card over here for the moon. Remember, 9 of coins, fulfillment. Fulfillment in the area of managing those resources. Well, let me cut first here. And what do we have for a final clarification for this full moon? Well, we have the World, and let me cover up her nakedness so that YouTube doesn't get mad at me. Oh, and so I don't offend anyone out there. The World. Remember I said I didn't see anything about the completion of a cycle? Well, this is completion of a divine cycle, a divine set of lessons. The Fool is card number 0. There are 22 cards in the major arcana. Here's card number the 22nd card number 21. The Fool meets each of the archetypes in the major arcana to learn lessons. You've learned the cycle of lessons with this aspect of your life that you just completed, and that the full moon eclipse probably was pushing you out of. You're reflecting, how's it going so far? Because you've got to get ready now for this new journey, this new growth and expansion. Yes, okay. Well, this ends the story here. Completion of a cycle, and you're ready to start a new journey. I'm not sure what that is, but I'll be posting a reading about love and relationships next week, and the week after that on work, money and work or career. We'll also do a mid-month check-in and end-of-the-month summary, and we will get more specifics on what this new journey is that you are getting ready to start, this new path you're taking, and how you're going to grow and expand in relation to that. Okay, well, this is what I have for you tonight, Aries. I hope that you found some enlightenment or some insight that'll help guide you through the full moon. And if you liked or connected with this, please give me a thumbs up or consider following this channel. And I'm looking forward to our next reading. Thank you so much for clicking on this reading.